Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we saw Sharirik tapas and Vak tapas. Okay. Now we will move to Manasik tapas. Okay. So the next verse, which is verse number 16, it says, Mana prasada saumyatvam maunamatma vinigraha bhava samshuddhi ityetata tapo manasamuchyate. Okay. So Manas, what is the Manas tapas? Okay. So as Dev had said, one of the tools through which, now here it shows the nature of mind, but how do you cultivate a mind which is cheerful? Here it says Mana prasadaha, cheerful mind, Saumya. There is a beautiful word called Saumya. What is a Saumya? Which is pleasing. Okay? Pleasing in the sense that the person doesn't have to crack jokes, or the presence of the person is pleasing. Okay?
Mild and pleasing.
Mild and pleasing. That is Saumya. Okay? Non-demanding, non-imposing. That is what we call Saumya. Okay? Then Maunam. So Maunam is capacity to be silent. We are not trying to be silent all the time and all that, because the thinking capacity that is given to us is one of the biggest privilege we have. We don't want to abort it by just being in silence. Okay? So being in silence is not an end in itself. Okay? But at times we talk because there is a lot of internal pressure. Okay? And we just chatter. Okay? Whether the other person is interested in what we are saying or not, right? So that talking takes place as a result of a certain internal pressure. So that pressure has to be avoided. Okay? So that is what we call certain silence. Okay? Certain silence means I am deliberate in my talk. It doesn't just happen and uncontrollable talking. So that is Maunam. And then Atma Vinigraha. The mastery over your own being. Okay? So that is what he says. Then Bhava Samshuddhi. Okay? So at least in my own mind, I don't carry any ill feeling or ill wishes towards anyone. Okay? Everybody need not be the person that I want to be best friends with. It's fine, right? You don't need to embrace the whole world, or these are very romantic ideas. Okay? One has to be very careful and discerning in the choice of company that one makes, okay, the kind of people that one associates with, okay, because you are greatly influenced by your surroundings. So you choose the company of people wisely who are enhancing and not putting, creating a kind of a, a very ordinary atmosphere. So that is something that you choose to be with people who will help you, who will nurture you, who will actually develop a certain, talents in you or capacities in you. So this is what we call that. That is your choice. Okay, but that doesn't mean that you condemn others. Okay, so that bhava samshuddhi is, I don't nurse all these. What happens is that so many, because of the life experiences that I have had, okay, the two feelings are there at many times, okay, or for all of us. What we say is guilt and hurt. Okay? Guilt with reference to the Upanishad, the Taittiriya Upanishad says, Kimaham sadhu na akarvam, kimaham papam akarvam iti. Okay? Why did I not do what I had to do at that given point in time? Okay? That means it is inaction. Or why did I do something but it was not appropriate? Okay? So that means there is something, feeling of guilt that we all carry. Okay? That is with reference to my actions. Okay? And with reference to others' actions to me, I carry what?
Hurt.
Hurt. Exactly. Why did this person do this to me? Or why did this person not do this for me? Okay? So guilt and hurt is something which is there lying within our internal, okay, being, our being. Okay? And that keeps, if they are not addressed, they keep manifesting, okay, in all distorted ways. I don't quite understand what's happening, but it keeps happening. Okay? So now bhava samshuddhi is what? I take care of this guilt and hurt. It's a little too cold. So how do I take care of this guilt and hurt? Okay. Surya's morning meditations talk a lot about the presence of the order. Okay. So what happens is that at that guilt is with reference to what I did. Okay. So there you have to see that at that given point in time, okay, what I was, okay, and the situation that I was in, I could not but do that. That is the order. Okay. But that doesn't mean right now I continue to be the way I was. Then it is proactive. Otherwise, anything, forget it, right? But what has already happened, okay, has created, now can you change it? Go back and change it? No. How productive it is for you to carry guilt with reference to what happened?
Not productive.
Not productive at all. Okay. But can you just eliminate that experience in your memory? No. Okay. So any advice, be in the present, okay, is actually against the function of the brain. Okay. Because the brain collects memory. And those memories play a very big role in you being who you are. Okay. So that means that memory I'm holding, and associated with that memory, the feeling of guilt I am holding. I need not worry about the memory. What can I take care of?
The guilt.
The guilt.
Yeah.
Okay. How do I take care of the guilt?
Living correctly in present.
Exactly. Right? First, to understand that at that given point in time, I could not have done anything better. That means it's part of one whole order, psychological order, okay, which made me to behave like that. Okay, that means I settle account with it. But it doesn't mean that I don't change. Okay, so that means that I can learn from that experience and I can do things differently now. Okay, so this is what we say, proactive, being proactive with reference to my present, and accepting the past Because past, by definition, is something that I cannot change, but I can learn from. Okay? So this is how I take care of my feeling of guilt. What about hurt? Same process. Okay? The hurt is somebody else did something to me or did not do something to me. Okay? Now, again, can I go back and change those events that took place? So there is a memory, and attached with that memory is the hurt. Memory, I cannot erase. Right?
Yeah.
Then what I can do is deal with the feeling that I'm carrying associated with that memory, which is the feeling of hurt. What do I do? Again, understand the behavior of that person again as part of this grand scheme of things. You know, somebody is rude, but you don't quite know the kind of experiences the person has had which makes the person what that person is. Okay? You can be proactive about it, and you can say that if that being with that person hurts me, either I engage in a constructive dialogue to communicate my feelings so that hopefully the person will change, and if in case the person does not change, you can always distance yourself. It's not that you always need to be connected to people who are not, good for you. Or if you're stuck with that person, then what? Learn to deal with that person in a way that what? You don't let, the person step on you. There are certain boundaries. In every interaction, there are boundaries. Boundaries means you can come up to here and no more. That is something which is extremely important to learn with reference to one's present interactions. Okay? I'll give you an example. I had, when we were living in Bangkok, somebody came to us, and there was this girl who was studying in the US, and she was very badly abused by her boyfriend. Okay? So therefore, ultimately, she broke up, but she stayed with him for 2 years, even though she was abused. So I said, you are a well-educated girl, studying in the US, very intelligent, and, from a good upper middle class background. Why did you let yourself be abused by somebody? Okay? And what she said was something which was amazing. What she said is that every time this guy, who he would probably get drunk or whatever, and he would either verbally abuse or physically abuse. Okay? And after having done that, he would start crying. And he would start crying and said, I'm so sorry I did this to you. Okay? And that's because, I had a very difficult childhood, and then I had a lot of difficulties, and my parents' behavior, my father was beating up my mother, so this is what I have seen as a child, and this is what somehow happens to me. I'm trying very hard to change, please don't leave me. Okay? What happens? You feel, in the name of so-called compassion, empathy, what do you feel? That, oh, this person is at least willing to change. Okay? I cannot just walk out. Okay? So that means once, twice, then what? 2 years. You let yourself be abused by another person. Is this compassion?
No.
No. This is not compassion. Okay? So that means you have to, in some ways, protect yourself. Okay? Hurt means you cannot continue to let people hurt you. Okay? With reference to that memory, you can understand the behavior of that person, but with reference to the present, okay, you cannot just say, now anyway, the person is like this because, of the order. This understanding of the order has to be very, very, it should not make you passive. Okay? Anything happens, oh yeah, because it's order. No. Okay? The understanding of order has to be extremely dynamic and very, very clever and very intelligent. Okay? Otherwise it becomes a tool for us to just basically Yeah, okay, this is order. No. Okay, order means there is a cause and effect relationship. That's what order means. Okay, and within that cause and effect relationship, what happens? About the past causes and effect, what is my capacity to change? The causes which have already produced an effect. Can I do anything about it? The only thing I can do is learn from it. With reference to the past causes, can I just say, yeah, it's order? No. Because the order is such that with reference to the present causes, what? I have a free will. I create my causes. I'm not just subject to causes. Okay? So therefore, that means I have to equip my buddhi in a way that I make appropriate choices, not governed by the past guilt and hurt. Past guilt and hurt is dealt with by understanding of the order, but the present causes come out of what? My wisdom of what I have learned from the past, and also as a result of my effort of engaging in some kind of a teaching which will help me to see things better. Okay, so this is what you call the bhava samshuddhi. Bhava samshuddhi is letting go everything that we are holding on to, which we don't even know that it exists. Letting go of this burden. Now, how does meditation help in this whole process? Okay, we have to talk a little bit. I'm sure Surya has done it, but I'm going to talk a little bit about what exactly is happening in meditation and why our meditation is slightly different from the other. It's not a technique. One thing which distinguishes the Vedantic meditation from maybe other meditation is our meditation is not a technique to quieten the mind and to have silence, no, or to concentrate on something. It's within the whole teaching, so that how to prepare the mind. Thoughts is, I am not just the thought. Okay, the thought what comes and goes. When the thought is there, am I there or not?
There?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
very much
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
to know that there is a thought.
Yeah.
When the thought is replaced by another thought, am I there or not?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. When between two thoughts there is silence, I'm there or not?
Yes.
Yes. So that means, who am I? Am I the silence? No. Why? Because if I was silence, when the next thought came, I would disappear. No. I am there when there is thought. I am there when there is silence. I am there when that silence is replaced by another thought. Okay. I am the invariable presence. Okay. That invariable presence is something which is independent of every thought that is taking place. Okay. So that means that thoughts will take place. Mind is an instrument that is given to you. Okay. It will do many, many different things. It does 4 major things. Okay. There are 4 different modes of mind. One is what we call manas. Manas is your emoting mind. Okay. Emoting mind means that you have as you live and you come across situations, you are not like stone, right? You're not just it produces certain emotions in you. Okay, so that is what we call an emoting mind. Okay, there is a second mind which is what we in Sanskrit that is called manas. Okay, the other is what we call the cognitive mind. Cognitive mind is what we call buddhi. Okay, what is buddhi? Buddhi is when I say 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, are you using your emoting mind to understand that? No. Your emotions have got anything to do with 2 plus 2 is equal to 4? No. Okay. That's purely your capacity to understand things. Okay. Now that can be very simple from 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, or it can understand what? Relativity of time and space, E is equal to mc square. That is this whole range that the mind has given, that cognitive capacity, which is what we call buddhi. Okay. That exposing yourself to ideas and understanding them accurately. That is what we call cognitive capacity. Okay. Then there is a third thing, which is an extremely important thing, which is what we call chitta. Chittam is what we call memory. Okay. So that means the emotions come and go. Okay. The understanding of things, that the thought which gives rise to understanding of any given thing goes. Okay. So that means you sit in a physics class and you understood a formula. That thought is going to stick to you for rest of your life? No. Right? But next time if say somebody says, okay, can you tell me how it is? What? You can bring it back. Right? So where is it stored? In your memory. Okay? So that is what we say, the chittam, which is what we call memory function. Memory function is an extremely important function. That's what makes you the individual who has, imagine from one moment to the other if you did not have memory. Will you have any sense of I? No. Okay. So you have manas, you have buddhi, you have chittam. These are all part of what we call antahkarana. Antahkarana is your inner instrument. Okay. Then there is a fourth function, which is an extremely important function, which is what we call ahankara. Okay. Ahankara, in a colloquial language, it is translated as ego. Right? Here in Sanskrit, it's a technical word. In Vedanta, it's a technical word. What does it mean? Okay. It means aham is I, and kara means what? The sense of I. Okay. So that means when you are feeling something, let's say happiness, okay, not only the manas, which is the seat where that emotion is produced, happens, that happiness happens, but you have almost simultaneous thought, I am happy. Right? So that means your I sense gets connected to what?
Happiness.
Your emotion that you are feeling at that given point in time. Okay? Then when you understand, let's say, this time we will not do mathematics and physics, but let's say something else. What else? Economics. Because I'm an economist, right? So you understand something. Right? It's not only that I understood this equation of the demand curve and supply curve or whatever, right? What? I understand that. That means my I sense gets connected to that thing. Somebody showing me the graph and my mind is catching it, but not only my mind catches it, almost simultaneously there is a thought. What is the thought? I understand. Okay, so that is what we call the I sense then gets mixed with what? Your cognitive capacity. Okay, then you have memories. Thousands of things are stored in your memory. Then what happens? When you retrieve any given memory, what happens? When I was young, okay, this is what happened to me. Okay, so your I sense gets connected to what? Your past experiences, the chitta, the whole. So that means this I sense, which is again nothing but I thought. Okay? Because nothing sticks to it. 1 minute I can be emoting person, next minute I can be a cognitive person, third minute I can be thinking about something. Does it all just accumulate? No. Okay? Every minute I am fresh. Otherwise, I would be right now carrying every impression that I have thought about from the childhood to now. Okay? So that means the I sense keeps getting connected with Chittam, memory, and Chittam, which is memory, Buddhi, which is cognitive capacity, and Manas, which is what? The emoting mind. And that's what gives me the feeling of individuality. Okay? This is what we call the individual. Okay? Four, which are Antakarana, working together. Okay? Now, you have to understand one thing. Okay? Whatever is your intrinsic nature, can you give it up?
No.
Can the salt give up its saltiness?
No.
Can the sugar give up its sugarness?
No.
Okay? So that means if all these capacities were my intrinsic nature, what would happen? They would all, right now, everything would stick to me. At this point in time, that I'm able to just see the tree and not have the simultaneous understanding of everything that I have thought from the past to present. What does it mean?
It doesn't stick to me.
Exactly. I am already free from everything. Everything comes and goes. I am already free. Okay? This is something which is what? In the meditation, what do? Chant comes, chant goes. Silence emerges, silence goes. What is my relationship with everything that is happening? Am I sticking to it? No. I am already free with reference to anything that is happening in my Antakarana. Okay? And Antakarana is not a simplistic instrument. Okay? It's a highly sophisticated instrument which produces all these different types of thoughts. And those thoughts work in harmony to make me engage in the world in a given manner. Okay? So that means through this meditation, I begin to get insight into my true nature. Okay? Now that true nature is further taught in Vedanta. Okay? It's not just, okay, now that you experience this I, which is free from every thought that comes and goes, so therefore that is what you are. No. There is a lot more to learn about who that I, what is the nature of that I, which is all presented in an extremely analytical manner and step by step with a very sophisticated methodology. Okay? But meditation gives me insight into that. So japa is not ordinary. It performs all these different functions. It's not simplistic. Okay? Then it does one more function. What is that other function? That when you have that absorption and you have a certain understanding with reference to your relationship with the mind, okay, then what Meera was talking about is a so-called alpha state. It means you are in an absorbed state, which is not just your common state, right? In that, you now begin to look at the meaning of the chant. I'm chanting Om Ishaya Namaha. What does it mean? Okay. What is Isha? That is order. Okay. What is this order? Okay. How do I understand? Everything that we understand, what happens is it remains a concept. Okay. Now if I want to really understand that concept, what do I need to do? I need to deconstruct and to make it more concretized so that I understand what is meant by order. Okay. So there you begin to, I think Surya has done that already. Okay. This so-called order, I further get insight into. What? One thing, the physical order. What is physical order?
The planets, the stars.
Exactly. The whole physical order which governs galaxies. Okay. There are, the Milky Way galaxy is what? Only one of the galaxies. There are so multiple galaxies in this whole universe. Okay? Within this galaxy, how many different stars, planets, okay, satellites? It is endless. Okay? Within that, this earth and the position of earth with reference to sun and moon, what? Precise position. Okay? Within that, how plants work, okay? What? They take, the food that we eat. Where is actually the energy coming from? The plants, through the process of photosynthesis, okay, take the energy of what? The sun. And they convert it into what? Yeah, things which are actually, when I consume, what does it do? That energy, it then nourishes my body. Order. What order? Physical order. The physical order is manifestation of what?
Isha.
Isha. Exactly. What is Isha? Or the intelligence. The intelligence, when I see it from the standpoint of how the galaxies and how the planets and how the stars work, I call it what? I give it a name. What is the name? Physical order. Okay. When I see it from the standpoint of how the plants work, okay, we say, okay, this morning was interesting when we were talking about, all these Shastra. Okay. Shastra is, what is a temple? Okay. What do you place where? Okay. Or house. What should be where? Okay. On one hand, you can say, my God, it can be so intricate. Okay. And on the other hand, you can say, yeah, but a house is a house. Right? Similarly, you can just say a tree, or if you're a botanist, or if you're a person who is a biologist, what the person understands in this tree is a tree. Tremendous, the knowledge that is here. Okay, how each seed has a program. Okay, where a mango seed will produce only a mango tree. A guava seed will produce only a guava tree. Okay, and guava will give me what? Nourishing, which is a different nourishing from banana, right? And which is different from apple. Okay, nuances within nuances within nuances. What this? When I understand all of that, what I am accessing? What? The order. What is the order? The intelligence manifesting in form of what? The plant kingdom. We give it a name. What? Botany. Okay, I give it a name because it is accessing that all intelligence, okay, and the order from a given standpoint. So that means the order, when I say order, I don't even know what it means. Okay, but when I concretize it, when I say physical order, then I know that, okay, this is the physical order that I'm talking about. This is the biological order that I'm talking about. Then when I come back to the body, the two doctors, okay, what? The anatomy. How long does it take for you to understand the human anatomy?
Oh, wow.
Quite a while. Right? So that means there is tremendous intelligence involved there. Okay? What do we give it a name? When I look at the intelligence from the standpoint of how a physical body is designed, I give it a name, what? Anatomy. Okay? It is what? Again, the order. Because not only his body works like that, every human body works within a certain range. Okay? This is another access into what we call the order, physiological order. That physiological order is what? Nothing but manifestation of Isha. You understand that? You deconstruct ideas. Things become real for you. Okay? Then within that there is a physical order, there is a biological order, there is physiological order, there is epistemological order. What does epistemological order mean? then I'm able to produce sounds, right? And they create what? Meaning in your mind. There is a mechanism through which knowledge is transferred. Have we created that?
Yeah.
Not at all. Okay, this is what we call epistemological order. We can look at certain things, it can create, you can't ignore it, right? So either it's partial, okay, or it is incomplete, okay. So when I understand the totality of Sharirik, Manas and Vach Tapas and use it effectively, okay, then it becomes what? Shraddha. Shraddha means I inquire into it, make sure that I understand it correctly and then do it. Okay, not haphazardly. Okay, so this is what we call Shraddha Paraya Taptam Tapas Trividham Narehi Aphalakankshi Bhir Yuktaihi. Okay, Aphalakankshi means it is, what is the purpose of that tapas? Not some external gain, but what?
Outside universal.
Self-realization.
I'm helping myself for my growth. Okay, my growth is very important. Okay, it's not just the external thing, but the minute I grow, then my capacity to manage. If you want to manipulate the universe, okay, for it to act according to your wishes, what is your chance of success?
It's impossible.
Impossible. But if your attempt is to grow to the extent that you can manage any situation, what is your chance of success?
100%.
100%. Right? So that means that it is done with proper perspective. Okay? Tapas is all about changing oneself. What I have to tell you this story because it was really beautiful, because once you change, your vision of things changes and things around you will change. Right? What is, I do classes in Mumbai, and there is one Parsi lady who comes for it. You know? So she told me one thing which I loved. You know? She said that there was like a jigsaw puzzle, right? And then it had many different parts, and it was all taken out, okay? And then the child was asked to put it together, okay? And then it seemed like very difficult for the child to put it all together, okay? So then, after 2 minutes the child put it all together. So the adult was like, wow, how did you do it? Okay? So he says, actually the whole piece was very complex, but behind was a human face, okay, which was very simple. It was only one. And I only concentrated on the back side, which was human face. When I put it together, the world automatically got put together. Beautiful. Okay? So that means I put the face together, the puzzle got put together, got fixed. Okay? We are constantly trying to fix the universe and we are getting nowhere. Okay? Where do we need to fix? The first fix is myself. Okay? Once you fix yourself, you have proper perspectives, you are a successful person. Because you can deal with anything, because you have a certain wisdom, a certain perspective. Okay? So this is what we say is sattvic tapas. Okay? So then he says aphalakankshi. Aphalakankshi doesn't mean that you don't want anything. It is not anything external, but with reference to what? The focus is personal growth. Okay? That is sattvikam. Satkara mana pujartham. Okay, the next verse 18. Satkara mana pujartham tapodambena chaivayata kriyate tadahi proktam rajasam chalamadruvam. Okay, so that means you are doing tapas, but then what? You want to be recognized. Satkara, mana and pujartham. Okay, so that means you want to present yourself as somebody who's evolved. Okay, when Surya was talking about sahana vavatu sahana bunatu, he was talking about the needs of the teacher themselves. Okay, you can become a teacher, you can go for 3.5 years and collect all these books and you can study everything. Okay, so you know everything. Okay, but if you have not addressed the lack in you, what happens? When you come to a teaching situation, what will happen?
You demand.
You demand respect. Okay? That means after every class you look for people to come and say, oh, how good it was. Right? Because what? There is something which is not nourished enough.
Yeah.
Which requires that nourishment. Okay? If you require nourishment and you take nourishment, there is nothing wrong. Okay? But if you demand nourishment, demand respect from others, okay? Or if that need becomes distorted, as he said, if somebody in the teacher-student situation is a very unique situation. Okay? Because here you're not just showing something and going home, right? The whole of individual is involved in this learning. And the minute the person starts seeing the beauty of this teaching, it is nothing to, the teacher is only the conveyor. The beauty belongs to the whole heritage. Okay? The person is just an instrument in transferring the heritage to the other person. Okay? But in the mind of the student, that Govind the Guru, what happens? Tremendous respect rises for whom? Not only for the tradition, but the person who is connecting them to the tradition. So that means Guru plays a big role. Okay? Now when that is set up, okay, then what? You have a human being under you. Like that. You can manipulate the person easily. That means if the teacher has the need and somebody is available, okay, who has so much respect and so much care, okay, then what happens? If the teacher is not mature, what will the teacher do?
Take advantage.
Take advantage. Exactly. Okay? This is something which is dangerous, right? So therefore, that any tapas that you perform or any evolving, you evolve as a person, but if it comes out of lack, if you don't address your own inadequacies, if you don't address your own feeling of helplessness or feelings of hurts and all, okay, if you don't address it, the best teaching of the world will not touch you. Okay, the first thing one has to do is to do that. Only then the finer thinking will begin to work for you. Otherwise, as she said very nicely, she says that her daughter was, she was having a book of economics, okay, and in that book, so there is all these theories that she was studying, and her little daughter, she says, Mom, my book says ABCD, and your book also says ABCD, because all these theories of economics are written what? In alphabets, right? That is very interesting, right? So that means you can see ABCDs, but you may not see the meanings. Okay, so that means that lack you need to address. Otherwise, you have Vedanta, you have any other thing, it will not. It will still, that thing will keep on manifesting. Keep on manifesting. And that can only be resolved. Partially it can be resolved with psychology, but fully resolved with your understanding of this one infallible order in Isha. Ishaya Namaha. I offer my salutations to that intelligence which connects everything, including what? My emotions, my feelings, my opinions, everything is manifestation of what? One grand order which is connecting causes and causes and causes from millennia to the present. Ishaya Namaha. Okay. Otherwise, that rajasic, that need, everything, you can become a big teacher, but everything is what? Need governed. Okay. Your need governed, which will what? At times you will manipulate others. You can have lot of knowledge, but what? You can sometimes helplessly. It's not that they all do it very
Compulsively.
compulsively. Exactly. It's not that they are all deliberately bad people. You must understand that. Okay? But unaddressed needs start manifesting. Okay? So that becomes satkara mana pujartham. That you demand respect, you respect mana puja, that you so all that happens, and that is rajasam. Okay? Then mood, the next verse 19, Muda grahenatmana yata pidaya kriyate tapaha parosyat sadhanartham va tattamasamudahrutam. Okay? Any tapas which inflicts pain on others and on yourself is what we call tamasic. Okay? So this is what we saw, that our teacher said something very beautiful, because it seems so nice to say that you have to be compassionate. Okay? But as I showed in that example of this girl in Boston, that compassionate has to come with what? Boundaries. I showed you that it was what? It was tapas because it was so-called compassion. Okay? But what was it doing? Inflicting pain on yourself. It becomes what? Tamasic. Very, 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 very intricate. Okay? Not simplistic. Okay? Otherwise what happens? That whole spirituality becomes an advice. Advice is you should be compassionate. Okay? Sounds beautiful, but there are no nuances. First, how do I become compassionate? What does it mean to be compassionate? Where is it that I have to protect myself and where is it not? Right? All these, when I understand the totality of it, my mind is cultivated. Okay? So this is what we say, tamasic tapas. When you let yourself be abused by somebody in the name of compassion, it is no longer compassion. Okay? So that means that not only you have responsibility towards others, you have responsibility towards yourself. Okay? So that is what we call tamasic tapas. Okay? Now, the